Come get your money. Paylake Carp fishing with Donald Barrow. I'm back. I'm gonna get a little crazy here for me. Uh, I'm gonna show you a line hack, and I'll give you an explanation of why. I The last 2 years I've been testing line like a madman. It was just I wanted to do a write up. I do a lot of writing, and I wanted to do an article online. Uh, this might have been 3 years ago, and I just couldn't test enough line. And I was going through line on my reels maybe once a month, every 6 weeks. I was just crazy about changing line. It was fun. I did it all out of my pocket. And if you look me up, you'll see some line uh, articles. It's actually how I met Ron Matthews at Wicked. Is I sent him a line article. Could be line. I might have told him one on hooks because I did articles on both. But one of the things that bugs me, uh, and it bugged me today, so I said, all right, let's do something about that. Is my line is probably about 3 months old, and it was time for change. It was really getting difficult to cast. The line held up fine. I'm completely happy with its performance, but I wanna I wanted to freshen it. I strip off line at the end of the night uh, before I go fish and retie my hooks. It's kind of a thing I do, and every one of them was looking low. Plus, like I said, the next 70, 80 yards, the line was rough. So I use a 6500. This happens to be the Wicket reel, but in rockets, our Boo Garcia 6500 rockets, and I wanted to put line on, and I had line. I have a big spool line here, but it bugged me that there's 200 yards when you start, maybe a little over, and I've used 100 yards. And when I peel it back, there's 100 good yards still on the line that I'm going to on the reel that I'm going to throw out. And I think I told you how cheap I am. I don't waste my bait. At the end of the night, I throw it into the bean. It drives me crazy throwing out anything, especially put so much effort in making stuff. So I used to fly fish, and it just stuck in my mind to try this. When you fly fish, uh, you spool a reel because the fly line is real expensive, and you have about 100 yards of it, maybe 60. I think it's 60 or 80 is what most of them are. I could be wrong. It's been a while. But after when you put your line on your reel, you put on braided line first, and you fill it with the reel with braided line. Uh, I don't know. I think it's let's say it's 200 yard capacity with about 100 yards of braided line, and then you put on the main line. And fly fishing, they have a term for everything. They call that your backing. And your goal in life in fly fishing is to catch a fish, and that it strips so much line off, and you got such a long cast that you get down to your backing, and you got 100 yards of braided line. You know, you could easily break your rod before you're going to break that line off. But be honest, when I fished mostly in the hills of North Carolina, never come close. And I caught some pretty nice trout, but I said, why can't I use the old line as backing? And another fly fish, and I actually learned this in saltwater, is to tie a bloodline. And what a bloodline is when you mesh two lines together. in just about every type of fishing. I used it a lot, and I would do some lightweight bass fishing, and even though I'd use 6 pound line, my leader line was maybe 15 pounds, maybe 10, 15 pounds. And then I would bloodline the two together because I didn't want to swivel. And in fly fishing, you bloodline, the old days, you made leader by tapering it, and you'd start with, uh, I don't know the terms much anymore, uh, heavier line, and then you go light, for about 12 inches, and then 12 inches of a lighter line, and then 12 inches of even a lighter line, and you drop down. So when you cast the lighter line, it would give you the perfect arc angle or whatever they call it. And I know you guys don't care about fly fishing, but the moral is you know line to line. So I said, okay, what if I kept 100 yards on approximately. I just took a guess on my reels. And the line looks beautiful and new after I stripped off the first 100 yards or a little bit more. And then I would blood line or blood knot the, the two lines together, new line into the old line. And I got to tell you, it worked. It worked great. I was casting one of them. To be honest, I got going. I had meant to show you the real deal and the connection, but I, I did all my rods, and then I said, oh, I should have made a video and showed them. Now, the only interesting thing that I do a little different, and I'm going to tilt my camera here in a second, is I actually don't use a blood knot. For probably the last 40 years, I started using one when I saltwater fished, was a uni knot. I've used it for bass fishing, trout fishing, and now I'm using them for carp fishing. And I know there's Palmer knots and you name it, everybody has their knot. And it's important for you to use that knot to get what they call 100% knot, a knot that, when you tie it, is the full strength of the line in power, so you don't break the knot. And the uni knot was 100% knot. And like I said, there's plenty of knots that are 100%. And I don't recommend, if you're not, to use your knot when you tie your terminal tackle, with this exception, and this is the exception. I needed a knot, line-to-line knot, and the only two I know about is a blood knot and a double uni knot. And since I tie a new uni knot regularly, I felt more comfortable. And I used to do this with fly fishing and saltwater and bass fishing too. I always used a double uni knot. So I'll try to show it to you real quick. Hopefully you can see this. I doubt this is going to be the greatest video. And this is my worst nightmare, to try to show off my line tying skills on a video and do it in one take, because I'm not too good at editing. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I would wet this and pull it together. And then repeat it. What I'm doing is the tag end. I put the 2 tag ends and made a cross. And then I work from the tag end. I run it parallel with the main line. And then I do in the opposite direction, which is natural. I make a loop, and I put 4 wraps between the tag end through the loop. It's pretty simple. If you're going to use a uni knot, there are videos online that do this much easier to see, with colored line, and better editing tools and skills. But I'll just show you, that's what a uni knot looks like. That's what a blood knot looks like. Or, the blood knot, the line actually comes out between the fronts of the knot where the uni line, the line comes out at the back. And I say that because you can cut both lines real close. You can probably cut it closer, but for a confidence bait, I really like to see that when I pull on it, you know, can't believe I just cut the, you know, I've got, sorry, I'm taking it out of the frame. I've got a line. And now this line will run through the guides. If I ever have a fish that runs me 100, 120 yards and, you know, it pulls all the line that I put on out, and this has to run through the guides, I have no fear. It run through fly, fly rods, and they're really, uh, really tiny guides with no problem. We'll go back to me. It's pretty boring there, but you know, I can show you this now. Uh, you know, I wrapped 100 yards or more over the knot, and the knot never really made a big indentation or made a difference in the spool being spooled on real smooth. I I would have my doubts that I ever even see the knot again until it's time to change the line. But I took the first one out and I casted it. Uh, I don't know why I did it. It was, you know, I never hit the knot. It never came. Yeah, I don't have a 150-yard cast in me. Maybe if I put a 2-ounce weight, you know, and really wound up and tried to, I could possibly get 100 yards. I don't know, but uh, I have no desire to even try that. You know, I work on my cast, work on being smooth, and throwing it out there as effortlessly as possible. That's the best way to treat your bait, especially if you have bait that's a little difficult to cast. You want that cast to be as smooth as possible. Uh, with all that said, I hope you I hope you enjoy this. It was just spur of the moment. Let's see if I could do something, and I'm happy with the results. I'll report probably later, you know, hopefully 2 or 3 months from now, and say it was a smart idea because yeah, I saved a bunch in the cost of line, and who doesn't want to do that? And I've got all fresh lines, so it's just nice. It's nice when it's the middle of the night and uh, you're not challenged casting. You know, your line is going out like new, and you're putting it out real far, exactly where you want to. It just makes for a more pleasant night. So I hope the weather is supposed to be spectacular tomorrow. So I'm really hope the crowds come out. Been a lot of talk online, so I think people are excited to go fishing, and so am I. So I hope I see somebody out there. I always enjoy meeting people, and please like and subscribe. I've said this almost in all my videos. I've been blessed by the people who've been liking my videos, and every one of you guys is appreciated. And I really do. I read. I know I shouldn't respond sometimes, but I'm just excited when people, if they want to comment, please. Uh, I just enjoy it. I come out in the lake and fish. I've met so many nice people, and uh, I love to help people. So never be afraid to ask a question. Never be afraid to walk up to me and say hi. It makes my night. So thank you, and